Now we're on the home stretch, and we only have one more task to complete before our app is responsive and finished. The last step is to create a two-pane layout that appears on larger tablet screens. To review, we want the master list and 3 body part fragments to be separate activities on a small phone screen, but we want them side by side in the same main activity on a tablet like this. To implement this in code will be similar to how you'd create a landscape layout or a smallest width layout, with a new layout resource folder that defines a two-pane layout for a larger screen size. For tablets, this means defining a new layout folder. And tablet screens have a smallest width of 600 dp, so we'll create a folder for this layout and name it layout-sw600dip. Then, in this folder, we'll create an activity main XML file. This will override the default activity main file. And in here, we'll define our two panes as a horizontal linear layout. We'll start with the master list on the left side. Then I'll include a small divider line and our body part fragments on the right side. Like before, I'm using the fragment tag to hold our master list of images because this fragment is static and doesn't change at runtime. And I'm putting 3 frame layout containers in a vertical linear layout on the right side of the screen for our dynamic body part fragments. You'll notice that these have the same IDs as in our phone Activity Android Me layout. And the linear layout that holds all these containers is called Android Me Linear Layout. So all this XML code should look fairly familiar. Now back to our main activity, we'll have to distinguish between this two-pane tablet case and the single-pane phone case so that we can display the fragments correctly for all screen sizes. To track whether this is in two-pane mode, I'll create a Boolean variable named m2pane. Then, in onCreate, I'll know if it's in two-pane mode by the presence of the linear layout that we added in the main layout file just now. When the app first starts in onCreate, this layout does not yet exist on a single-pane phone, but it does on a larger tablet screen. So whether it's null or not indicates whether this should be a two-pane or single-pane layout. Then, if it is in two-pane mode, I'll have to populate the fragment containers with new body part fragments. This will be very similar to the code in the Android Me activity. I'll get a fragment manager and create new body part fragments for the head, body, and leg images that are on screen. In the two-pane case, we also want to get rid of the next button, so we'll set its visibility to gone. I'll also set the number of grid view columns to 2 for a better looking display. And these are both just small UI changes, getting rid of the button and changing our grid view slightly. Lastly, I'll have to handle communication slightly differently since the tablet layout should not ever start a new activity when a list item is clicked. So let's scroll down to our callback method onImageSelected. In here, we'll want to update the click behavior to handle this two-pane case. In the two-pane case, when a list image is clicked, we'll immediately want to replace the existing body part fragment with an updated one with the selected image resource. First, I'll create an if-else to separate our two-pane case from our single-pane phone case. Then, to replace body part fragments dynamically, we'll be using switch code as before to identify which type of image has been clicked on, head, body, or leg. Then create a new body part fragment accordingly, setting the correct resources and image ID, and replacing the existing fragment. Here, I've written the code to handle the head fragment, case 0. If a user has clicked on an image of a head, this creates a new fragment. It sets the list of images and the image ID based on the click position. And finally, using a fragment transaction, it replaces the existing head fragment by referencing the container. I'll leave it up to you to complete this code for the rest of the fragments in the next exercise. After you add the code to replace all types of fragments when an image is selected, this should complete our flexible UI.